We're recapping Thursday Night Football next on Fantasy Football Today in 5. Zamir White, Trey Tucker, Jacoby Myers, Michael Mayer, Brandon Bolden, Trey Tucker twice, Jack Jones, John Jenkins, and Devontae Adams. Hey, Devontae Adams scored a touchdown. That is everyone who scored a touchdown for the Las Vegas Raiders on Thursday night in, honestly, one of the saddest games of the NFL season, I think. 8 different players scored for the Raiders. It was the most since the 1950s in an NFL game. The Chargers actually ended up with 3 touchdowns from Easton Stick. A lot of that was in garbage time. Adam Azer, folks. He's here.
Hi.
On the FFT&5 podcast. This is the kind of game where I almost don't even know if there's anything that we can take away from it, right? Like, things just got so out of hand so quickly. Like, Austin Eckler, boy, I mean, you probably didn't survive. You probably didn't survive the regular season. You probably didn't survive this game. If you did, is he even an RB2 next week?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, they get back. They're not this bad, right? They're facing Buffalo. Buffalo gives up a lot of receiving yards and catches to running backs. I'd say he's an RB2. I felt the same way. I was like, what are we going to talk about? I think my takeaway was I really don't care about anything that happened in this game. It's not really changing the fantasy outlook for anyone. I mean, it maybe gives me a little more faith in Zamir White if he's the running back next week for them if Josh Jacobs is not back against the Chiefs. But, you know, like Adams, I think, is clearly a guy you're starting.
Yep. Fringe wide receiver 1.
Myers, not really. It doesn't really do anything for me with Myers. And
yep.
Josh Palmer, not really. I mean, if you didn't see it, he had a 79-yard touchdown catch on busted coverage.
He looked good.
Yeah, I mean, it was encouraging, I guess,
Yeah.
First game back. But Eckler, yeah, I'm willing to forgive Eckler in this game. They took him out of the game late. Isaiah Spiller got all the work. It was really a pathetic performance, and they will be better because they can't be any worse than this.
I will say Zamir White was better than I thought. 69 yards on 17 carries, 4.1 yards per carry with a touchdown on the first drive. That was nice if you started him. Only 9% started. I think, Adam, you added up all the players besides Devontae Adams who scored a touchdown for the Raiders. Their start percentage combined was 71%.
Something like that. And that's not.
And 49 of that was Jacoby Myers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just a weird game. I think if Josh Jacobs can't play next week, you know, Zamir White getting 4 targets, 3 catches. Look, a lot of his carries came in after the game was well in hand, and
I don't think second quarter, Chris.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, it was just a weird game, but yeah, I feel okay about Zamir White as an RB3 next week if Josh Jacobs is out. That's maybe the only takeaway I have. So what we're going to do the rest of the podcast is, unfortunately, it's week 15 of the NFL season, and as has been the case all year, injuries are the big headline. So let's talk about the 2 most important injuries from the Saturday games. There actually aren't that many from those 3 games, but Alexander Mattison has been ruled out. Ty Chandler, top 20 running back?
I don't think I can do that. I would have said earlier, I like him better than Zamir White. Look, it's a really good matchup, but I don't think he's a really good player. They have so few rushing touchdowns from their running backs this year. So, no, I don't think top 20, but definitely top 30, probably somewhere around 24. I would start him over the Steelers, guys, if you have that decision to make.
Justin Jefferson is questionable. He told reporters he's going to play. He told a child at a toy store earlier in the week that he's going to play. Starting him, no questions asked?
Yeah. I think I'm ready to fire him up. I think he's going to have 8 or more catches.
Yep, 3 catches in 13 snaps, or 3 targets, 2 catches in 13 snaps before his injury last week. Doesn't seem to be serious, so that's good news. Some bad news along the injury report the rest of the way, and all right, let's go through it. CJ Stroud has not practiced this week with a concussion. Devon Achane has not practiced this week with a toe injury. Isaiah Pacheco has not practiced this week with a shoulder injury. Ramondre Stevenson has not practiced with his ankle injury. Brian Robinson has not practiced with his hamstring injury. A.J. Dillon has not practiced with his thumb injury. He has a broken thumb, by the way. I did, in a deeper league, put in some bids for Kenyon Drake and Patrick Taylor just in case Aaron Jones can't go. But if Aaron Jones does play, he's been limited this week with his knee injury. I kind of think Aaron Jones is going to be a top 24 running back. What do you think?
Yeah, I'd take him over Ty Chandler. But we have seen such a frustrating season from Aaron Jones, so it's getting a little harder to buy into him. What we have seen, though, pretty consistently is about 5 targets per game when he's been healthy and in the lineup. So that's going to be big. And if A.J. Dillon's not there, they really this is a must-win game, right? They have no choice, I think, but to use Aaron Jones. So I would agree, top 20 guy if Dillon's out and Jones is in.
And the matchup against the Buccaneers, like they're a tough team to run against, but a lot of teams have success through the air. It should be a pass-heavy script against the Buccaneers because they are a pass-funnel defense. I think it's a good spot for Aaron Jones if he plays. By the way, we are not done with the big injuries. We've maybe not mentioned the most significant injuries of the week. Tyreek Hill, ankle injury, has not practiced this week. Nico Collins, calf injury, has not practiced this week. Chris Olave, ankle injury, has not practiced this week. Chris Godwin, knee injury, has not practiced this week. DJ Moore was limited on Thursday.
I like limited.
That sounds like he'll play. Marquise Brown, also limited. That sounds like he'll play. If Tyreek Hill doesn't practice tomorrow but is cleared to play, you're definitely starting him, right?
Definitely. Yeah.
How are you feeling about it?
I feel fine, I think, just as long as he doesn't re-injure it. But I think he'll be fine. He's been arguably the fantasy MVP. You can't sit him. I think the bigger question is what does it do for Tua? And I'd be pretty hesitant. I'd be pretty hesitant with Tua. Even if Tyreek Hill were 100% healthy, I'd be a little hesitant with Tua right now.
He'd be like QB 8 to 10 for me if Tyreek was 100%.
I'd go low.
I'm definitely starting Matthew Stafford over him.
Yeah, I'd start Love over him.
I'm starting Patrick Mahomes, who I know a lot of people have questions about this week. I'm starting him over him. It gets a little iffier with like the Jared Goff, Kyler Murray, Sam Howell group. But if Tyreek doesn't practice tomorrow, I'm probably moving to a below that group as well, into more like the Baker Mayfield, Trevor Lawrence range of the rankings. Does that sound about right?
Absolutely. And a guy that actually could really help Tua is Achane. That's another one. I mean, they line him up out wide. He can do a lot in the passing game.
He was so close to like a 90-yard passing touchdown last week. Tua just overthrew him on that one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
though.
It's been a rough fantasy football season. The roughest in my 13 years. What was that?
Pick up Jeff Wilson.
Yeah.
If Achane's out, he could have a decent role. And obviously Shaheed. I don't think I'd have any interest in really anyone else in that passing game. Hopefully Taysom Hill plays. But
limited. Good news.
Yeah, limited, yeah. Shaheed is someone that could be okay if you're in a pinch.
All right, that's going to do it for FFT and 5. We'll be back tomorrow to talk some Week 15 stashes. We'll be back Sunday morning with the updates on all the injuries you need to know about. We'll see you then.